There's a certain kind of man who never realizes he's the fool in the room. He goes through life making the same mistakes again and again, fully convinced he's right, while everyone else looks on, shaking their heads. He's completely blind to his own stupidity. And the worst part? He has no idea, although being the fool is a precondition to becoming the hero. If you're careful, you can become one of these heroic men. And so today, we're going to do something about that, because stupidity isn't just about having a low IQ. It's a mindset, a way of thinking, a disease of the mind that corrupts decisions, wrecks relationships, and turns a man into a walking joke. The real question is, though, if you have the signs, so let's find out. Sign number 1, he argues more than he listens. Ever met a guy who just has to be right, no matter what? No matter how ridiculous he sounds? He'll argue for hours, throw tantrums, twist words, anything to avoid admitting he's wrong. This guy doesn't actually listen, he just waits for his turn to talk. And when someone smarter than him speaks, he gets defensive. Why? Because deep down, he knows he's outmatched. The Stoics had a word for this: arrogance. A wise man would assume that the person he's listening to might know something he needs to know, and he'd listen hard enough to make sure the other person actually shares it with him. A wise man would also embrace the truth, even when it wounds his ego, while the foolish man, he stubbornly fights against it, digging his own grave with every word he utters. Psychotherapist Carl Rogers emphasizes the power of listening with this quote: "When a person realizes they have been heard on a deeply profound level, their eyes moisten, and I think in some real sense, they weep for joy, as though they were saying, 'Somebody heard me, someone knows what it's like to actually be me.'" So ask yourself, when was the last time you truly listened? Sign number 2, he believes luck matters more than discipline. The foolish man loves to blame luck. He sees a successful man and thinks, "Must be nice, he got lucky." He sees a wealthy man and assumes he cheated. He sees a fit man and calls it favorable genetics with their 23andMe. But ask him what he's actually doing to improve his own life. Nothing. The truth is, he's lazy, and instead of owning up to it, he creates a fantasy where success is just a roll of the dice. That way, he never has to take responsibility. Nick Saban once said, "We have the choice between the pain of discipline or the pain of disappointment." And a real man understands that luck is simply discipline over time. And if you show up and work as hard as you possibly can on at least one thing, watch how lucky you can get. You might just surprise yourself. Sign number 3, he wastes time on meaningless battles. A foolish man spends his energy fighting battles that don't matter. He'll argue over politics with strangers online. He'll start fights over nonsense just to prove a point. He'll waste hours debating things that have zero impact on his life. A smart man, however, he knows his energy is finite, and he doesn't waste it on pointless conflicts. He picks his battles wisely, because adversity is the state in which a man most easily becomes acquainted with himself. And Marcus Aurelius once said, "You could be good today, but instead you choose tomorrow." So think about that, and ask yourself, how much time have I wasted fighting over things that don't actually change my life? Sign number 4, he believes his feelings are more important than reality. A foolish man lets his emotions control his life. If he's angry, he reacts. If he's sad, he quits. If something wounds his ego, he lashes out. He believes the world should bend to his emotions, but the world doesn't care. And those who master others might inherit the throne, but those who master themselves, they inherit the earth. A real man understands that emotions are just passing waves. You don't fight them, you don't drown in them, you surf them, you acknowledge them, but you don't let them dictate your actions. Seneca reminds us it's not what happens to us, but how we react that matters. And the foolish man, he's a slave to his emotions. while the wise man, he aims to integrate them appropriately and master them. Sign number 5, he never learns from his mistakes. Ever met a guy who keeps repeating the same dumb mistakes over and over? Maybe he keeps getting into toxic relationships. Maybe he blows his money on foolish things. Maybe he trusts the wrong people, time and time again. And every time, he says the same thing. Man, I just have bad luck. He doesn't have bad luck. He has bad patterns. James Clear mentions in his book, Atomic Habits, you do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. And a foolish man keeps repeating the same systems, over and over. Why? Because he never examines them for himself. He never stops to ask, what did I do wrong? Instead, he jumps back into the same fire, expecting not to get burned this time. A wise man, he analyzes, he adjusts, and he learns from his setbacks, mistakes, and failures. So, which one are you? Sign number 6. He surrounds himself with other foolish people. Ever hear the saying, show me your friends and I'll show you your future? A foolish man surrounds himself with losers, complainers, gossipers, excuse makers, and people who drag each other down like crabs in a bucket. Why? Because it's comfortable. A smart man, he seeks out people who are better than him, people who challenge him, push him, force him to level up. He's not afraid to be the dumbest in the room, because that's how he gets smarter. Ideally, we're looking for people who are our beneficial adversaries. So look around you. Who do you surround yourself with? Are they making you better or keeping you foolish? And so, now you know the signs, but the real question is, what are you going to do about it? The world is full of foolish men, but you don't have to be one of them. You just have to do the inside job it takes to take yourself to another level. And so, with all that being said, if this video helped you in any way, shape, or form, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe for more relatable content. Not for me, for you. Because this is just the beginning. See you next time.